Hello everyone, welcome to Kaninesi. So last time we did paper 1, so we're continuing with paper 1 again. For paper 1, remember what is being asked in paper 1 is solve for x, nature of roots, simultaneous equation, and also sequence and series. So let's start where we left. So I gave you a task. So this is a task that I gave from the previous class, so we're continuing again now. All right, so I hope you have your pen and paper ready. Remember to like our page on Facebook and also to subscribe to our YouTube channel Kaninesi, and also hit the like button. You are free to invite your friends to participate. We are live, so you can send the notifications. So let's get started. All right, here we have question 1. It says solve for x in each of the following. We have 3x squared minus 5x minus 1 is equals to 0. So it says leave your answer correct to 2 decimal places. Once you are told that you must correct your answer to 2 decimal places, it's a sign that you are being told to use the quadratic equation. All right, here we have 3x squared minus 5x minus 1 is equals to 0. All right, so let's get started. All right, so now we're gonna use the quadratic equation. So we have 3x squared minus 5x minus 1 is equals to 0. So for x, so this question is made out of 3 marks. So you get 1 mark for substitution and also 2 marks for each and every root of x. All right, so now remember, when you're talking about solving for x in quadratic equation, you must make sure that your equation is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So make sure equation is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. So you must make sure that your equation is in this format, because if not in this format, possible you get the wrong answer. So right, then what are the values of a, b, and c? So the value of a is the coefficient of x squared. In this case is 3. So a is equals to 3. Then the value of b is the coefficient of x. In this case, b is equals to -5. And also the value of c is a constant. It's a number without x, or a variable without x. So c in this case is -1. So now let's substitute to the quadratic equation. The quadratic equation is x is equals to minus b plus minus square root of b squared all over 4ac. So this is the quadratic equation. So now let's substitute. All right, so x is equals to the value of b is -5. So open brackets, we put -5 plus minus square root of b squared. So b squared is -5. I mean b is -5 all squared minus 4ac. The value of a is +3. And the value of c is -1 all over the value of a is 3. All right, So you get a mark for the substitution, and also you get a mark for the two possible values of x. What you need to do, just put in the calculator, you get two values of x. So now the second question was, so for x, so we have x squared minus 6x plus 8. X squared minus 6x plus 8, alright? So please remember to post your answer on the chat room. So we have x squared x squared minus 6x plus 8. X squared minus 6x plus 8. So here is equal to 0. Solving for x. Here we'll factorize. So firstly we have to get the factors of x squared. So the factors of x squared is going to be x and x times x. So give us x squared, right? Then now the factors of 8, let's write them down. Factors of 8 is 1, 2, 4, and 8. These are factors of 8. So now, if the last term is positive, we'll have, okay, if last term is positive, we'll have to add the factors of 8 that will give us the middle term. So in this case, the factors of 8 that we can add is going to be 2 and 4. That will give us 6. So then the rule says if the last term is positive, we have to add the factors of the last term to get the second term. Then they have to take the sign of the middle of the second term. They will take the sign of the second term. So in this case, the second term is a negative, so it's going to be minus 2 and minus 4. Therefore x is equals to positive 2. Therefore x is equals to positive 2, or x is equals to 4, or x is equals to 4. So here you get 2 marks. So 1 mark and 1 mark. Yeah, should be 2. Okay, it's going to be 3 marks. So 1 mark is for the factors. 1 mark is for the factors. Then the 2 marks is for the 2 possible values of x. Alright, please, if you don't understand, remember to comment on our Facebook page or on YouTube so that I can explain further. I believe I'm being heard. So the third question says, solve for x in each of the following. So we have 4x minus 2x squared is equals to 0. I mean 4x minus 2x squared is less than 0. 4x minus 2x squared is less than 0. Here. So that is number 3. We have 4x minus 2x squared is less than 0. 4x minus 2x squared is less than 0. Perfect. So we are solving for x. So now let's just rearrange them in the proper order, in the order of ax squared plus bx plus c. In this case, is less than 0. So here we'll have negative 2x squared plus 4x is less than 0. we didn't change anything, we just rearranged them. We put them in the descending order of x. So we had negative 2x squared plus 4x, so nothing has changed. Negative 2x squared plus 4x, we didn't change anything. So I don't want to get confused. We think that we have changed. We didn't change anything. So here, so remember, when you're solving for x, you are allowed to divide. You're allowed to divide. So here, what we're going to do, we're going to divide by negative 2 each and every term. We're going to divide by negative 2 each and every term. So we have negative 2. All right, let's put in a fraction form. So it's going to be negative 2 divided by negative 2. We want to remove the coefficient of x squared. So in order to remove the coefficient of x squared, we have to divide by the same coefficient. In this case, our coefficient of x squared is negative 2. So we're going to divide each and every term by negative 2. So it's negative 2 over negative 2 x squared. X squared, right? Plus 4 divided by negative 2 plus 4 divided by negative 2. Remember, we have x is less than 0 divided by negative 2. So remember, whatever you do on the left hand side, you must do on the right hand side. It's a law. So here we are removing the coefficient of x squared. So we are dividing it throughout the whole equation. So the coefficient of x squared is negative 2. So we're dividing each term by negative 2. So remember to engage with us on our Facebook page and also through our YouTube channel. Perfect. So here negative 2 divided by negative, that will be positive 1. So we'll be left with x squared. We'll be left with x squared, right? Then a negative divided by, a positive divided by a negative will give us negative. Will give us negative. Then 4 divided by 2 is 2. Then remember, when we're dealing with inequalities, once you divide by a negative number or you multiply by a negative number, the sign of the inequality changes. So in this case, the equation was less than 0. So now we have to change it. It's going to be greater than 0. Right? So it's going to be greater than 0. So now let's factorize. So now we're going to factorize. So remember here, sorry, there's an x, is 2x. So remember here, we're going to take a common factor. Our common factor is x. X goes here and x goes here, right? So remember, dealing with the left hand side at the moment. So take out x, then we're going to be left with x. So what do we do here? Let me explain. Let me explain something so that you can understand. So here we say x squared. Here we say x squared divide by x, then the answer is x, right? Then you say minus, then So 2x divided by x, so we have it's gonna be 2x divided by x, then we'll be left with 2, so that's why we have 2 here, is greater than 0. Then now so here, if we have something like this, an equation is greater than 0, which means x will be greater than the big number and x will be smaller than the small number. So here we'll say x is greater than positive 2, right? Or x is less than 0. Here we have two possible values. So when we say the left hand side is greater than 0, so which means x will be greater than the bigger number and x will be less than the smaller number. So in this case, the bigger number is going to be 2 and the smaller number is going to be 0. So we are saying x is greater than 2 or x is less than 0. So these are the two possible values of x. So you get a mark for the factors and you get a mark for the two possible values of x. So this one should be 3 marks as well. Okay, it's 4 marks. So you get a mark, I think, for changing the inequality sign, then you get a mark for the factors, then you get a mark for these two possible values of x. So let's continue. Now let's simplify, let's solve for x again here with this, right? So we have this equation, square root of root 32 plus x and square root of root 32 minus x is equal to x. All right, here we have all right, open brackets, then square root sign, then under square root we have another square root again. So square root of 32, right? Square root of 32 plus x. Okay, this one. All right, I put the wrong one. All right, so here we have 2 to the power 3x plus 1 plus 2 to the power 3x is equals to 12. Solve for x, the mark is 4 marks. So 2 to the power 3x plus 1. 2 to the power 3x plus 1, right? 2 to the power 3x plus 1. 2 to the power 3x plus 1 plus 2 to the power 3x equals to 12 plus 2 to the power 3x plus 2 to the power 3x is equals to 12. 2 to the power 3x plus 1 plus 2 to the power 3x is equal to 12. Okay, that one is 4 marks. We're solving for x. Perfect. So remember, as you can see that this is an exponential equation, so which means you have to change everything into exponential form. Alright, so let's start with the left hand side first. Let's try to simplify the left hand side. So here we have to split this one. So we have 2 to the power 3x, right, times 2 to the power 1 times 2 to the power 1, right, plus 2 to the power 3x, 2 to the power 3x is equals to 12. Perfect. Now, as you can see, on the left hand side, we have a common factor. We have 2 to the power 3x and 2 to the power 3x. Perfect. So, I hope you're following. Please, if you don't understand, remember to interact with us by commenting on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. So now we have to take out the common factor. So our common factor is 2 to the power 3x on the left hand side. Remember, we're first simplifying the left hand side because the right hand side is in a simplified form. So now we're simplifying the left hand side. So here we'll have, take our common factor, in this case is 2 to the power 3x, right, into, remember when you take 2 to the power 3x, alright, let me just show a rough work. So here we have let's make a fraction. So we have 2 to the power 3x, right, into 2 into 2. Remember, 2 to the power 1 is the same as 2. Divide by our common factor, in this case is 2 to the power 3x. 2 to the power 3x. Right? Now, 2 to the power 3x times 2 divided by 2 to the power 3x. So this one will cancel this one. This one will cancel this one in the denominator. Then we'll be left with 2. We'll be left with 2, right? We'll be left with 2. Then plus, then we come here. Two to the power x, 2 to the power 3x, 2 to the power 3x, alright, divide by 2 to the power 3x. Divide by 2 to the power 3x. So we'll be left with 1. Any number divided by the same number is equals to 1. Divide by 1, right, is equals to 12. Remember, I told you that the right hand side is in the simplified form. So now, it's going to be 2 to the power 3x, 2 to the power 3x, right, into 2 plus 1, that is 3, into 3, close brackets, is equals to 12. So, remember, we're still simplifying the left hand side. So now, as you can see, we just need to divide each term by 3. The left hand side we're dividing by 3 and the right hand side we're dividing by 3. So we'll have we'll have 2 to the power 3x, 2 to the power 3x, right, multiplied by 3. Okay, let me just put it inside the brackets. Multiplied by 3, divide by 3, because we're simplifying the left hand side. Divide by 3 is equals to 12 divided by 3 is equals to 12 divided by 3. Whatever you do on the left hand side, you must also do on the right hand side. So on the left hand side, you'll be left with 2 to the power 3x. On the left hand side, you'll be left with 2 to the power 3x is equals to 12 divided by 3 is equals to 4. Now let's write 4 in exponential form. When you're writing 4 in exponential form, it's gonna be 2 to the power 2. It's gonna be 2 to the power 2, that is 4, right? So now, when it comes to one of the principles of exponents, when the bases are the same, we drop the exponents. For example, 2 to the power 3x is equals to 2 to the power 2. So we're going to drop the exponent. It's going to be 3x is equals to 2. Right? So therefore, x is equals to negative 2 over 3. X is equals to negative 2 over 3. X is equals to negative 2 over 3. So that is the final answer. Alright. I hope you are following. Please feel free to comment. Please feel free to comment on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. So alright. Now we have number 1.1.5. It says root of x minus 1 plus 3 is equals to x minus 4, and the mark is 6 marks. So number 1.1.5, we have, root of x minus 1, right? Root of x minus 1, root of x minus 1 plus 3 plus 3 is equal to x minus 4 is equals to x minus 4. All right, so what do we do here? So remember, we must make sure that everything that is under the square root should be on the left hand side. Everything under the square root should be on the left hand side, then the rest goes to the right hand side. So here we have root of x minus 1 plus 3 is equals to 4 minus is equals to x minus 4. So which means we have to remove this, we have to move 3, transpose 3 to the right hand side. So that will be alright. So we'll be left with x minus 1 is equals to x, right? Now it's gonna be x minus 1. Why is x minus 1? Because no, it's gonna be x minus 7, because this 3 was a positive Then when we transpose it to the right hand side, it becomes a negative. So it's going to be minus 4 minus 3, which is minus 7. So on the right hand side, we have x minus 7. So now, when we have a square root sign and we have to remove it, the only way to remove it is to square, and whatever you do on the left hand side, you must also do on the right hand side. So here we have x minus 1, right? So all squared. Let's just put the brackets so that we don't mess the equation. All squared. Whatever you do on the left hand side, it's a must that you do on the right hand side. So on the right hand side, you have to square as well. Let's put the brackets. So then here we'll have, on the left hand side, we'll have x minus 1 is equals to, all right. So now let's simplify by inspection. X times x is gonna be x squared. It's gonna be x squared. It's gonna be x squared. Then x times negative 7 is gonna be negative 7x times 2. That will be negative 14x minus 14x, right? Then negative 7 times negative 7, that is positive 49 plus 49. Perfect. All right. So now we have to take everything that is on the left hand side, we send it to the right hand side. Everything on the right hand side, we send it to the right hand side. All right. So here we'll say 0. Remember, we're taking everything from the left hand side to the right hand side. Everything. So 0 is equals to, so the right hand side we had x squared, right? Minus, sorry about that, this should be 14x minus 14x, right? Plus 49. Then remember, the x on the left hand side was a positive, so the x becomes a negative. And 1 on the left hand side was a negative, so on the right hand side it becomes a positive 1. Positive 1. So remember, here we have x squared minus 14x plus 49. Then we are transposing x to the right hand side, so it becomes a negative, and we're transposing a negative 1, it becomes a positive 1. Remember, when you're transposing a term, we are taking a term from one side of the equation to the other side of the equation. So in this case, we took x minus 1 into the right hand side. So now let's write it in a proper way. Let's write it in a proper way. So remember, we should write every time we're dealing with quadratic equation, so it should be in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. It should be in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. So now we have to equate all of these to 0. Then what do we do? So here we say, okay, x squared, right? Then now let's check the like terms. So we have negative 14x and negative 1, negative x, that will be negative 15x, right? Then now other like terms, we have the constant 49 plus 1, 49 plus 1, that is 50. So we have a positive plus 50, right? Then is equals to 0. So now it's in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Since we were not told to correct to two decimal places, which means we have the factors of this equation. So what are the factors of 50 that can give us 15? All right, so now let's write the factors of 50. Factors of 50, we have 1, we have 2, we have 5, we have 10, and we have 25, and we have 50, right? So 1 goes with 50, 2 goes with 25, and also 5 goes with 10. So now the rule says, okay, these are the factors. So these are the factors. Perfect. So now when it comes to factorization, now let's first find the factors of the first term. The factor of the first term is x squared. So the factor is going to be x times x. It's going to be x times x, then it's equals to 0. So now, which factors, if the last term is positive, so now we have to add the factors of the last term to get the middle term. So if the last term is positive in a quadratic equation, we have to add the factors of the last term to get the middle term. So now, which factors of 50 that we can add that can give us 15? Obviously, it's 5 and 10. So it's going to be 5 and 10. These are the factors that we're going to use that will give us 15. So if the last term is positive, we'll have the same sign. So then we take the sign of the middle term. So it's going to be minus 5 and it's going to be minus 5 and minus 10. Perfect. Therefore x is equals to 5, or x is equals to 10. So these are the two possible values of x. All right, let's continue. We're left some few minutes. All right, so what is the next question? So here we have this equation. So show that 3x squared plus k plus 2 into x is equals to 1 minus k are real and rational for all values of k. So are real and rational for all values of k. All right, let's just write the equation as it is before solving the problem. So we have 3x squared we have 3x squared 3x squared, right, plus k plus 2, right, into x. All right, we have 3x squared plus k plus 2 into x is equal to 1 minus k is equals to 1 minus k. All right, so what is the condition? It says that show that the roots of 3x squared plus k plus 2 into x is equals to 1 minus k are real and rational. In other words, for real roots, which means they are greater or equals to 0, they are greater or equals to 0 are real. Then for rational, they must have a square root. They must have a perfect square. If it's rational, they must be a perfect square. All right, so the condition is real and rational. Show that the roots of this equation are real and rational. Okay, now they should be real. Okay, they should be real and rational. All right, so now remember, when I talk about the nature of roots, we should write it in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Ax squared plus bx plus c. So now the equation, it should always be in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. Right, now what is the value of a, what is the value of b, and what is the value of c? All right, a is equals to 3 because a is always the coefficient of x squared. Can you guess what is the value of b? Please take a guess. What is the value of b? I'm giving you 10 seconds. Just guess what is the value of b. I'm giving you 10 seconds. What is the value of b? What is the value of b? Just take a guess. What is the value of b? 5 seconds are remaining. What is the value of b? Just take a guess. 3 seconds remaining. What is the value of b? 1 second remaining. What is the value of b? All right. So all right, let's go. B is equals to the coefficient of x. So what's the coefficient of x? So it's k plus 2. B is equals to k plus 2. B is equals to k plus 2. And c is equals to 1. All right, let's change it. Remember, when we take this to the right hand side, it's going to be k minus 1. So c is k minus 1. Right? C is k minus 1. Perfect. Now, Remember, so what is our delta? Once we talk about the nature of roots, we have to, what is our delta? Delta is that thing that is under the square root. So our delta, is that thing that is under the square root. Delta is equals to b squared minus 4ac, b squared minus 4ac. That is our delta, right? Now let's substitute our values. So b is k plus 2, b is k plus 2. So here we have b, so b is k plus 2, that is k plus 2, right, all squared, right, minus 4 into the value of a. The value of a, in this case the value of a is 3, into 3 into, then what is the value of c? C is k minus 1. C is k minus 1. So the value of c is k minus 1. Alright. So here on the left hand side we have, so this is our delta. So this is our delta. This is our delta. So that is our delta. Then now let's simplify this equation. So here we have, now gonna simplify this by inspection. K times k is gonna be k squared. Gonna be k squared. Then k times 2 is gonna be 2k times 2 is gonna be plus 4k, right? Then 2 times 2 is plus 4, then minus minus 4, negative 4 times 2 is negative 8, then negative 8 times k is minus 8k, right? Then negative, alright, so here, remember here it's 4k, is 4k plus 4, yes. Then now negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 times k, negative 8k. Then negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Then negative 8 times 1 times negative 1, that is positive 8. Positive 8. Now let's simplify. So here we have like terms. So we have k squared, right? Then now minus 4k, then minus 4k plus, so we add the like terms, it's gonna be k squared, I mean it's gonna be 4 plus 8, that will be 12. There's something I left here. So here we have, remember delta is b squared minus 4ac, so it's gonna be The value of A is 3, not 2. The value of A is 3. The value of A is 3. Let me check. Yes, it's 3, not 2. So here we'll have negative 12k. Here we'll have negative 12k. So here's going to be negative 12k. Then here is going to be negative 12, right? Times positive 1, that will be positive 12. Here we have positive 12, right? Alright. Then now let's add the like terms. So here we have 4k minus 12k, that will be negative 8k. Then here we have 4 plus 12, that is positive 16. Positive 16. Positive 16, right? Now let's simplify this. Let's factorize. So when you factorize here, it's gonna be k minus 4 into k minus 4, right? So this is how we're going to factorize it. Remember, if the last term is positive, we have to add the factors of the last term to get the middle term. So factors of 16, that will give us 8, it's 4 and 4, right? So we take the sign of the middle term, right? But this, we can write this in this form. Remember, we can say k minus 4 all squared. K minus 4 all squared. So now delta is equals to k minus 4 all squared. Delta is equals to k minus 4 all squared. So therefore delta is a perfect square. So if delta is a perfect square, which means the roots are real and rational. So then we say delta, so we have delta, which is equals to b squared minus 4ac. That thing under square root, b squared minus 4ac. Delta equals b squared minus 4ac. So is a perfect square. Is a perfect square. We're saying delta is equal to b squared minus 4ac is a perfect square. Therefore, now we can conclude. Therefore, the roots are real and rational. When you talk about rational, we're talking about perfect square, real and rational. So we've proved that the roots are real and rational because delta is a perfect square. Remember, anything that is under the square root should be greater or equals to 0, right? So the roots are real and rational. Thank you so much for watching. So please post your answers on the chat room so that you can see how well do you understand the concept. Thanks so much for connecting. My colleague will start just now. because it's his time now. His time is 4 o'clock. We just start now. Thank you so much. Remember to like our page and to share our Facebook page, and also to share with your friends our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. So my colleague will start now with physics. Thank you.